Hey YouTube, my name is Caleb. I'm the creator of this channel, Cool Shows 101. And I bet you didn't know until now, but this was a real human voice. Yes, it's a real voice. It's my voice, sounding a little less robotic, AI, computery, monotone, however you want to call it now. I got thinking about computerized voices again because I saw an ad for Revoicer, and it got me thinking about like the one thing that they need, especially after watching a wonderful review by Jen Jager. I've also seen her review on Speechelo, which I'm going to mention briefly. Really great video. I'm going to try and remember to put that in the description as well as a link to the Revoicer page. There's one thing I think that Revoicer needs that would take them to the next level. Obviously, the voices can be improved upon and become a little bit better, but implementing this one thing is going to be, I think, the next big step for AI voices. And I'm not going to be including any samples from the two AI programs that are modern that I'm talking about, because I don't want to be like, hey, you're not paying for our service, can't have the video on YouTube. But I will actually show just one thing here, because this program expired 1997. So I just want to show this because this is an example of an older voice. It's not the oldest voice. It's definitely better than super old things like my Odyssey 2 with the voice module. The manual even says it contains the necessary allophones, parts of speech, to reproduce human talking. It can do that. It's not as good as this, but modern voices are way better. Just listen. Or I could do... You know what? This is a bit nerdy of a subject. Let's really go computerized. We can even have a girl sing this for us. Last one, a hyperman, because I'm hypermale, because sometimes I talk fast. So anyways, listening to that, and then once you go listen to if you see an advertisement for any of the newer programs, they've gotten a lot better. We're at the point where we are using AI to duplicate people's voices yet. That still isn't quite perfect. Some of the samples I've heard, like the samples that Linus listened to of him, and I think maybe they had Luke as well on the WAN show, those were really good, but I could tell. Now, in the beginning, I was mimicking a certain advertisement. This is the one for Speechelo. The voice that they have in their ads is Joey. That one I can clearly tell is a computerized voice. So then the interesting thing, there's one ad that basically goes, blah, blah, blah. Hi, my name is Joey. 98% of people cannot tell that this is a computerized voice. So what? You're saying that I'm in the 2% of people that can? Now, I do not buy that, okay? Speechelo, you're better than the Talk At Any that I just showed, but you're not as good as Revoicer. And Revoicer, not quite perfect. Go watch Jen Jager's video for more details, but one of the big things she runs into is she said they had a YouTube video, aside from having no tutorial, they had one YouTube video showing that you could highlight text and then pick the emotion that it was using. She tried that and it read everything in the one voice that was selected, so she had to switch through each thing. I'm going to attempt to do my version of these, what I think these voices kind of sounded like, and then explain why they're not quite perfect and what needs to be added. Because they're not dynamic enough is the big thing. Oh, but before I do that, I need to mention the little test they have on their website here, where you listen to two different videos and you have to guess. They say 97% of people can't tell which voiceover is text-to-speech. That text-to-speech is underlined. Is it real or is it Revoicer? And the answer is actually both of them are computerized voices, but I picked video number 1 when I was listening to them because it didn't sound quite as good as number 2, and so I thought maybe number 2's real voice, just slightly odd talking, but no, they're both computerized, but it's number 2 on the video test on their website that is done with Revoicer, so it's just a better computerized voice, but both of them I could tell. So with Revoicer, what I think I'm hearing, this is what it sounds like to me listening to them, you know, it's like, this is what it sounds like when I whisper. This is what it sounds like when I'm talking normal. This is what it sounds like when I'm angry. This is what it sounds like when I'm sad. This is what it sounds like when I'm excited. You know, and it's kind of like that. They're okay. It's good that it has those, but it needs to be more dynamic, because that's not a really great, like, moving experience. Just like for me, watching people and myself and how I act in real life and movies and running this channel and, you know, doing some acting here and there and planning to do more in the future, I know that things are way more dynamic than they actually are with the way that Revoicer has them. And there's a lot more dynamic in my normal talking voice. But then, this is what it's like when I'm sad. There's just so much that... There's just so much that gets to me, and it hurts. And it really bothers me. And I don't know what to do. I feel so lost and helpless. And I just sit there wondering what the answer to the problem is going to be. But I don't have the answer right then. It's just not there. And I want something. I want to be able to do something to... And I just, no matter how I think I can, I'm just sitting there waiting for an answer. Maybe I've messaged a friend and they're going to text back eventually with something. I don't know. And then, you know, like sometimes I'm not even waiting for an answer. Sometimes it's someone who's not so close of a friend. And, you know, it's just like, hey, do you want to hang out? Do you want to go do something? And then they don't respond, or they say they want to and do something, but then they're always busy. Every single time that I ask them, hey, you said you want to do this with me. Do you actually really want to do this with me? Because you're always busy every single time that I'm free. And it just makes me so angry. See, there is a lot more dynamicness in that performance than you get with these AI voices. So we need the ability to make things more dynamic. We need some way to say, pause here for a little bit longer, and just sitting in front of the camera and acting it out, I think is going to be a lot easier. I'm still going to try and have like real human people do voiceover whenever I need it. You know, if possible. Maybe I don't have the budget right then. There's no friends available to do it for free. I don't like my own voice, whatever. I may use AI for certain things. You know, like this voiceover from Revoicer was good enough that if I ever did another animation, I'd be comfortable using it for that at least. But it just doesn't have the same dynamics that real voices do. So not only do we need ways to say, pause for so many seconds, change the speed of words. There's so many little things that you could have a program where you could type out all this code for, but it's going to be annoying to specify this, you know, hold a little bit longer here and be slower there. And you could like, maybe if it tried to mimic your performance, but do it in that voice and that style. Because one thing that I am like, I can kind of sort of do some different voices, and I can kind of sound a little different when I talk funny like this. And let's see, what's one thing that happened? I'm trying to think of like For some reason, there's one voice that, like, anytime I listen to a YouTube video with someone doing that accent, then, oh yeah, I think it might be a little bit of an English or a British accent. Every time I watch someone doing an English or a British accent, I just randomly start doing that accent, and I start speaking like them from that country, even though I'm sure it's not very good, and I still have a very heavy American accent on there. It's just something that sometimes happens like that, you know, or this. Actually, you know what? The little joke that I've done to a few people, you know, like this. Well, this is fake. This is also fake. But this is real. Now I have to drink water. So these AI voices just need to be more dynamic is the big thing with them. And I think as cool as it would be to actually be able to write out and specify timing and somehow have code, like, you know how you read music on a sheet that says play faster and then slower and all these things that tell you how to play a song like the original artist intended? Well, something like that for AI would be good, but one of the big things I think is going to be intensity. If you start off with intensity and you have angry but different levels of angry, like this is what it sounds like when I'm angry. This is what it sounds like when I'm angry. This is what it sounds like when I'm really angry. If you can have those different intensity levels, then you're off to a good start. And I think look to something like, I don't remember what the program is called, but there's one program that lets you kind of customize different already pre-made music for use with your videos. And it's not Scorefitter. That's the one that I have with Pinnacle Studio. It lets you pick a song and then a version or style of that song, and then you can dynamically change the length of the song, and it will end exactly when you tell it to end and start exactly when you tell it to start. This program was like that. It was in a Filmright video I saw easily 7 years ago, and they were using it in conjunction with Adobe Premiere, I think. But this program not only let you pick the different song from their library and change its length, but you could also use different keyframes to dynamically change the intensity of the song. So if you can add a system like that for AI, forget about read this word slower and this word faster, like specifying it word by word. If you forget about that and then you go to just a basic dynamic keyframed changing between the emotions and intensity of the motions, then I think you are going to be on a really good track for getting your AI voice to be better than it is currently, and that is, I think, the next step for these AI programs. So if you guys liked this video, leave a like down below. Talking about stuff like this is something I only do every once in a while, so go check out the variety of other things that I do on the channel. Big thing, if you like me as a host, then I guarantee you'll like what I do next and a lot of my other backlog of videos, so go check those out, and if you like those, then subscribe, and I'll see you guys in whatever's next. Bye!